Okay, I think people are saying in the chat that Chinese translation is working. Thank you so much, everyone. And thank you so much, Rocco.
Oh, okay. So yeah. We have 4 more minutes. Is there anything else you need to do, or you're good, right? Yeah, I'm good. If later I need help, I will. Thank you for asking. Usually there are other people
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, we pay Sanji Chudan, Soji Chunan, Chancho, Batu, Dani, Japsun, Chi, Pedaki, Jinso, Jinbi, Sonan, Chi, Dola, Pencher, Sanji, Drubar, Sho, Sanji Chudan, Soji Chunan, Chancho, Batu, Dani, Japsun, Chi, Pedaki, Jinso, Jinbi, Sonan, Chi, Dola, Sanji, Drubar, Sho. English?
In the
Ina
Buddha,
jiroga.
the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings.
Ma nam ka dan yambi jan tam die dewa dan devi ju dan dembara churu je dungara dan dungara ki ju dan chebara churu je dungara mi bi dewa dan me je bara chu je nyeren cha dan ni dan chebe dan nyo la ne bara churu je ma nam ka dan yambi sem chen dam ji dewa dan devi ju dan dembara churu je dungara dan dungara ki ju dan chebara churu je dungara mi bi dewa dan me je bara churu je nyeren Chagdan nidan chebe danyon la ne parai chore je.
May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
Ta koya men shasma.
Hallo, Bruder?
Ta kondo kaya la de noma donne koyi men sha.
No.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yang je dong na li ma nong wa.
I'll do it again. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
Wa tene zang zo ma lo kan de sa de tene ko do e.
Kodok.
Wa tene da ka de sana zo. Tere wa ta ka zang de da ji nam chu jun da jian zo da yin si me ki ba. Wang lam yu ren hu ji zhou bi zhu ji chma mi ge lam ma ta ma nong la chang ce ge jiao qi wo se tere ma qi lu. Wa tene da tere ka zang di so yi ba. Da gong ju song de 我这你看中国去，他都没会他都没会把那穷人敲在让就敲在情况的，他都没会的穷人是，老爷他有从这马脚吧，老爷有从马脚了是老去有从马脚来，从这个可是那从嘛的，从这你能看了有是，老有马脚那从这你有嘛的是。我这前面我是到着那这边就然后刚是这外面的相机我现在跑多少松呢？是吧？空中可以去就这么的，让些干着个是的。
So, back to our text. So the last verse that we spoke about was what was it? The Chakzelodira. Oh yeah. So we said, noble masters of the flawless practice lineage, I bow before you. Be my refuge and grant your blessing. So it was the prostration, and so we spoke about that being related to the view, the practice, and the conduct, and then. So regarding this realization of the view that is Mahamudra, Lord Jigten Sungön had said that Mahamudra arises from ultimate devotion. And that is a state of mind that transcends the intellect, the conceptual mind. And if there is no conceptual mind, if one transcends the intellect, then there is also no grasping at a subject-object duality. And so it is said that, so when one realizes the unborn luminosity, clear mind, the mind itself, that seeing of the mind itself will dry out the kind of a river of samsara, of samsaric existence.
근데 지금말하는 그런 다제 레줌들의 이체체네 세로당네 다 고송 용라이소 요아미비테 고음자 고음네나 산지와나 다른 산지야들라 다른 거마다 오스 체파르트 다나마시 세니당네 바셰기 제송네 대상학이나 맹아 여러 인고스 조금 단위 책이 왕 효르마송네 제마송 단위 책 제마송네 샘고 저 통야월에 고초치네 왕탕 담아 토는 고음네나 세의 상지메제 태송마다 오스 我真的，我现在没感觉到生命啊老说，那个差不清楚清楚，起码到你那这边，你那那边这边些，这什么都种么来的呗。我天对天呢，做我这我说来就这些切切你就去过呀，来就这些一切切啊，别开心不的都是。
So, Miller Repa had said that when you really believe in karma, when you trust in karma, and you give up concerns for this life, and you totally dedicate your entire being, your body, speech, and mind, unwaveringly to practice, then enlightenment is actually not far. And especially when you follow a qualified guru, and from that guru you receive the essential instructions of the Vajrayana, and if you practice them without falling into kind of conceptualizations, like conceptualizing about these instructions, if you practice them and then recognize your mind through these instructions, then there is no doubt that you will attain enlightenment even in this lifetime. However, he's also said that if you engage in the 10 non-virtuous actions, or especially the 5 extremely negative crimes, if you engage in extremely negative action, then there is no doubt that you will fall into the lowest of hells. So really the takeaway from this instruction is that it's so important for us to trust in karma. And Jigten Somgen, in some words of prostration, he says that if a faithful, a devoted person only thinks of the guru, or sees the guru, but nowadays we don't see those past Kagyu masters, but if we only think about these past masters, that will protect one from all samsaric suffering. It is like the king that transforms the 3 poisons into medicine. So to that king I prostrate.
또 냠내 치테로 치 실나데스 뭐다 주베 장니 이동의 간대나나 신도 집에 당와 남초를 괜찮와 시에서 얘기해 보고 같이我他这做把他们接完了啥的这个남초를 괜찮와 사 그래서 남초를 남초를 괜찮와 사这个可能去查一把我这一个固定我真的我在这里了
Now coming back to our actual text, the Garland of the Sublime Path. And so then in the next line it says, having cherished the spoken advice of these Kagyu masters in my heart for so long. And so having cherished the advice of these masters for long means that I never forget about them. I practice them, keeping them in mind always. So having them in my heart always, I shall now write down these most treasured oral instructions for those who are directly or indirectly devoted to me as a precious garland that is the sublime path. So this verse is the commitment to compose this text. So with that, he commits to complete the composition of this text. And we already spoke about the meaning of the text name. And so he said, this is the text I'm now going to write down.
真的他点就看啥，他说他们以前把托班都把说那真的，他们在敲这情况，同就去他们啊，吹就去嘛，晓得吧？吹就现在吹嘛，在路上。说想了其他偏向没吧，这句嘛说的，你们两个说这头了，这个的实际嘛说，我玩起嘛就过的，我玩起嘛就现在没，他在你们俩经常就把这把我的经常在他们这也说嘛上来，他们这趟点吧，我听着这一些过的是，这看着的是那他都这样的，他在早晚了嘛也说话是那些的是，我真的那就说啊，就叫什么，你里面那他妈给骗个嘛的是。당화 미나 냐 슬랑죠 말레스 당화 냐 어떻게정도
And so then it says, first of all, the person who wishes to attain liberation and the omniscient state of Buddhahood should remember the 10 kinds of ways. So first of all, now I guess we are referring to a commentary. So it says that you should follow these words precisely, but without being carried away by mere conceptuality, but without merely just following the words. You also have to actually really internalize and practice them. And since we practice the practice lineage that is endowed with blessings, the samaya must be kept and never be lost. And so that is to practice the meaning wholeheartedly, and that the meaning of the lineage that derives from Vajradhara and reaches the root guru. Now, Jigdan Sumgön also said that if you have no courage, then the instructions alone will not be beneficial. So without like wholeheartedness or determination, the instructions alone are meaningless. But then if you don't have the instructions, also you can't do the practice. So.
真的挺久，几个钟头出来了。他当晚的做的那么多切盘跑吧，穷了我的也是，你多我朋友是为没钱那样，当晚穷了我的，他强求先也当他过呀。那么公呀，他瞧着幸福公呀，这个话听啊我，但当晚的，当晚你所从这里的所晓得的是，可是呢，这强求先的，强你的强求先当，我外头多瞧起，这先把这种啊瞧起。总体啊，确实，这那种啊，上面肯定呢，这穷了不是的是，我这年来提头呢，中他我的，原天机吧，各自有嘛的也是，各位是有嘛的，我穷了，我这咱马这个去过的一种我，如果朋友出来跟今天中午呢，我穷了我的马这个去过的也是。
And so Jigdan Sumgön said that his own guru, Pagmo gave the most important instructions, and that is the instruction on the fivefold path. So these are the principal instructions to practice. And so this fivefold path consists of bodhicitta, practicing the Yidam deity, guru devotion, Mahamudra, and dedication. And the fivefold path, he said, combines the sutras and the tantras, where the first path of bodhicitta, love and compassion, belongs to the sutras, and the other four belong to the tantras. So all practice, the essence of all practice really is this fivefold path. And so Paramudrupa said that it is flawless and it possesses only perfect qualities. There is no contradiction in the fivefold path. And therefore he said to Jigten Songkran, you should never separate from those five practices. So Jigten Songkran said that he gave many instructions, such instructions to prevent afflictive emotions from arising and to abandon those afflictive emotions that have arisen. However, the most profound instructions is this fivefold path. There's no instruction more profound than this. Jigten Songkran said that there's so many people speak about and also cultivate love, compassion, and bodhicitta. But when it comes to love, he said, I actually do not have a lot of experience with that. But of course, you have to keep in mind, it's also a Tibetan tradition to be a bit self-humbling, a bit self-deprecating. So obviously he did have experience with love, and he actually gave extensive teachings on love, on loving kindness. There is really a very elaborate instructions on that. But that's what he said. He says, I don't have much experience when it comes to love, but when it comes to compassion, immeasurable compassion and bodhicitta, I do have experience. And he draws this experience from his disease of leprosy that he contracted that gave him a lot of suffering. And through that, he understood the suffering of others, and he developed great compassion for others, especially through his disease. And so therefore he emphasizes compassion and bodhicitta a lot. And he said that really all the practice of the Mahayana, and in particular the sadhana practices, the deity practices of the Vajrayana, all the activities accomplished through Vajrayana practices all have their root within compassion. The key point of all these practices lies in compassion. And so especially when we practice the Vajrayana, it all begins with this intent, this motivation of bodhicitta. And so he said that this is what all the past masters spoke about. This is what you must be experienced in, and this is what you must never lose. And so then he also said that that means it is something that you must directly experience. In other words, you should not just follow verbal conventions, concepts about it, just words. If you just understand all the words about it, you do not really understand. There's no benefit in just reading all the scriptures without practicing them. For example, he said it is just like a sick person who wants to eat some medicine, and then he takes a medicine book and he reads the whole book and he understands everything, and he knows that, oh, if I take this, then it's good for that. If I take this, good for that. He reads the whole text, but that it's not going to heal him. He has to actually take some of the medicine. So Thich Nhat Hanh said you have to actually think about it, really reflect on it. What are the benefits of that? How is it? So you have to really experience this mind of love, compassion, and bodhicitta. And with that as the basis, as the foundation, one should accumulate merit and wisdom. So whatever practice one engages in, high or low, it all has its root in bodhicitta. And it is the first path of the fivefold path. All the other paths, such as the yidam and so forth, all really arise from the foundation of love and compassion. And that's not just the case for the fivefold path to any practice that we engage in particular, the Mahayana, Vajrayana practices have their root in bodhicitta.
Then the Talam Jordan Jackson Chima Kurante Mojino, the level Russia, then power Chevy Churches, Jess Chamber Chavas, then power Chevy Churches, what? Tambose.
So then we come to our text again, the ornament of the sublime path, and now we come to the actual text, and it begins with the 10 kinds of waste.
Then Pompore is doing also that Jala, the last one, Jala, the dancing was on the last one, and John Bay Pompore, the Ratana, so eat the China. Did you talk and duck machine?
So this term waste, so it's also kind of like it means loss of something. For example, if you lose a nice object, then you will feel you will suffer a loss. So there's 10 kinds of loss.
真的他唐伯在开始，你把各位没有怎么的，没给地块来了，决定碰送多他，没有做这边你要干的好不学的是好的，但没有你要别干的好不的，没有特别这个错做那么咋的，没有错的里面，没有特别要嘛的，别强调想呢，他的通路的其实先把忙不学的，我俺那说没有这个是忙不要嘛的话，我这样就这你个话题都那快学的。 别讲了，像出马这出商这用了，经常那做这趴，都像讲的都在学了，那这个这没是别些有这个的，常干的。我城里他有的，他讲做这种那忙些别想了这，确实做不来做学生啊，说这个。我城里通州这，他讲做那强化帮了嘛，因通州那边吧，他在通这两个做城州说，他们东西他别讲的，你吧，那你吧，忙学的。 这里他用的一大地是用的，他一大忙手的，这里土著用的，土著的他土著我说这他这不让我他是通的了哇，我这些这呢这里他土里里头公布的，我这样对我来说，他你不可能没有脏嘛的，但没有你开始那个开始那起头的那说，让你做那做头的，我现在的从前做的那做头的。 我才找很多现在找嘛找吧去，这个每个地块的那就对嘛，我那才前面从给的马鸡，那个嘛找吧去，这块就把去的，那这边碰我的，什么都是出来的。然后在那个有人那说，在他们开始在阿拉同样的，我们咱们这那个叫去嘛拖吧去，说，推手他妈在那出来着，这边就是说这里说过他妈拿啥家，我他就现在了，从前找嘛，他起码爬的时候，我他就用个的话，我他就掐死了，真的。 真的，别跑步的这种人啊，我这蛮家去过的这种人。
The first one is this perfect human body, so difficult to find, is wasted by engaging in non-virtuous evil deeds. So this precious human body, a precious human body, is very difficult to find. Unless we have accumulated a vast amount of merit, we won't just easily find such a human body. For example, when we think about other beings, the population of other beings, we can see how few human beings there are. When we think about animals, for example, if you think about an ant's colony or just the ants living underneath a rock, there probably are more ants than there are people in a whole country. Or if you think about the oceans, the waters, and the water is really pervaded by microorganisms and different animals and the small little bacteria and so on. And this is just what we can see. And then there's also those we cannot see. There's, for example, the hell realms, and the hell realms has the greatest amount of beings, like highest population. Then there's the hungry spirits. There's a little bit less hungry spirits than hell beings, but far more than animals still. And the animals we can see, and there are so many more animals than human beings. So we can see how rare a precious human body really is. And also what is unique about precious human existence is that in this life, we can do anything. We actually have a choice to do things. We can actually accomplish nirvana. We can become liberated in this very lifetime. But then if we go the other way and we just engage in evil deeds, in unwholesome actions, we don't do anything good, we just do all kinds of negative things, that is a great loss. It is a waste of a precious human life. For example, there is some who drink a lot of alcohol and they don't go to work, and then they waste all their money on their addictions. And even in this life, even living alone future lives, they're already getting sick and they're suffering in this life. And so this verse reminds us to not fall into this path.
真的就是没来的别个这种来其他公布这些，没有人讲公众的是没有人讲的公布的这种的是，就那通常公就没事，就那种公就学到没都是了哇。 승보 소지 대과진 서 승보 소정的所有的대과진之类是年松动啊气质那年松动啊是多呀气高把我不就说的气质那高把气质呢成功成的都把做了这样成都别同他是都说的是那这边都别同嘛着所以他就对过几天就去的那成的同的罗不嘛的是然后先把罗呢我罗不所以他那先把罗我罗不的送的吧
Milarepa said to the hunter Dorje that generally it is said that precious human body is very rare, but when I look at you, it doesn't seem so rare. When I look at you, I see a sinful monster. The only way for you to go is into the lower realms. So you think that you accomplish the meaning of this life, but actually all you do is evil. So he said that if you turn away from this, if you turn away from evil, this is how you will attain accomplishments.
真的，结果国产吧，就是吧，我国产被可是从参教人不去，你把各位军情的送我的，接着什件这毛不有的上的有的其他在没做做南多的是用的别强了噻，金巴是中央然后去这中央然后听着在没里头上面上弄南多今年别拥有的是啊，同样听南多和军器可能他结婚的是，我听人的听毛同样多是同样南多是忙出来的。
Gyava Gotsambam said that generally we think that there are so many people, but then when you think about it, the cause for birth, for precious human rebirth, is generosity or ethics, ethical discipline. And actually, when we look around, we can see just very few actually have that cause for finding a precious human body. Because for the most part, actually, uninterruptedly, continuously, people are completely caught up in a stream of the five afflictive emotions, the five poisons. They're constantly caught up in those afflictive emotions. So very few actually possess a real cause for a precious human rebirth.
那中国朋友这个可是从没有特别的，特别求其他的这些讲过过，没推荐我不离开别忙我有是，这样的样这我年就样这我他才后，从大样这我他就基本上的，没是吃饭上的就是做着的是看见。 我这里他们这里在这些往这说说，前地通的 drop 他们在养我了，可是前地通 drop 出来了，前地通 drop 嘛头发起，但是这个来看着，好像起码头起，这墙上的通了是，我这里起的就说多，这里呢墙着多，我这是变碰破的意思，我这就里头像秋季没联系，我这秋季干嘛他没联系，我这是从碰破的那时候，那这里没记的钱呢，那当初没里头通当的把西过的意思。 没有通常对吧？那这个上头也好，当然说，没有那个这个，他求中那 drop 图的，以前中那 drop 图的，这里，当说可能不是说是他是那么大，在前呢，过去的那几天呢，可能那这个这长跑长下，这个就成什么了说，这种买几吧，我他甚至系统的说没有通常对吧？是巧了吧
？Pablo also said even though some have found the precious human body, very few, even fewer, practice the actual dharma. And for the most part, we are still preoccupied with the 8 worldly concerns. We are preoccupied with defeating our enemies and looking after our friends. And we are in constant concern for this life. We only try to accomplish things for this life, and if you are able to accomplish something good in this life, then that's a little better. But some can't even do that. They don't go to work, they drink a lot, and this is how their life just passes by and comes to an end, and that's a real loss. So he said, do not fall into these worldly concerns, but use this human existence in a meaningful way. Think about it carefully. With a precious human birth, you can do anything, whether it is in the Dharma or in the world. Whatever you do it with a pure intention, with complete sincerity, with honesty, without deceiving and cheating others. If you do so, if you do everything wholeheartedly, then your human existence will become meaningful.
덴버가베 텐조르 밀루 장마데스 추미 타마시 수치로 방스다 뭐다 밀루 투브 가보래 텔레 당원가래 가보세 텐조르 밀루 장 덴바세 덴버가바 다 텐조르 밀루 장 장마데 투비아 가래 가보래 스테 추미 이슈를 그래서 방시린 파보래 스타 텐조르 밀루 장마스 톱데리 대자 대화지 저와지我他就有了我从上没有我在托的我在他求起嘛托吧去这样的那些送人碰过的我经常让说在他没从嘛来看蒙古人他求经过这个人他来看过有的没好过说从嘛来我从嘛在来看小区有的当我说来看毛的没西巴头你看来看蒙古有的这女你呢他让说在推说我都有的意思我求了去从那片头有的在推说我都有的刚说说在一起陈主席，咱们这些片头情况有嘞，我在球迷去了后，他们把当时没些嘛送来去过的是，这些送边旁过的是，我就这么来的，可是说是那米下场去多去，那米下场出来了，多些是吧，多些的话，如果呢，那片子吧是那片子呀的话，他提醒的，我这是从那么讲，他说多吧，那听着时间的，说那么啥，看他说他们进前辈，恐怕通过我来才是，就那。他说要要出哪些？他说那么要出哪些？挺叫没人的。这2年的确讲，这种主要的年度区别那的，我当时的确在起有马了卡在我说呢，没有那个起头来，他是在起头嘛，身边同志都起头嘛，老天是，我这难起头的，难这样的是，我这我说没的，他这没有那呀着呀，马着呀，三着下的，我是就是没来的呗，我听就没有的，三着的下头，现在嘛着，对嘛，点了一台，点呢是。对嘛，点下去这个，最起码的，这些年的培养去，对嘛，然后 drop 进来 drop to 个的是，我真的，这嘛进来 drop to 嘛的是，但是点呢是那个，别让我老把这就从那，现在这你看起我，这就抢着个是，我这一辈，这没来的辈，这么乱，这就需要你这是可惜东西的。
And in the ribbon, as I said that, first this line here. So the line here, it says, the second line says, this perfect human body with the leisures and endowments so hard to obtain is wasted by dying an ordinary unspiritual person. So we have said that it's very hard to be born a human being. And it's even harder to have those leisures and endowments, those 8 leisures and 10 endowments. That's much harder to obtain such a birth with all these freedoms. So not to use this opportunity and practice the Dharma and just spend one's whole life in distraction is a great waste, is a great loss. And of course, understands that everyone is busy, especially nowadays. Everyone has many things to do, and it's very difficult to only practice the Dharma. But we should consider it whenever you have time. Just do the best you can and practice it as much as you can. Because if you spend your life in distraction and just become completely ordinary, at the time of death, that is a huge loss. As a Namila Rebam said that now you have a body of karmic ripening composed of flesh and blood. For now, it holds the consciousness. If you wish for liberation and omniscience, for enlightenment, it becomes your ship, your boat, to accumulate the merit required to attain enlightenment. But if you do not use it well, if you use it to engage in evil deeds, then this very body will drag you down into the 3 lower realms. So the special quality, ability that we have as human beings is that we can't do anything. For example, an animal doesn't have a choice to do this or that. But a human being, as a human being, you have a choice to do this or that. So Milarepa said, therefore, the human existence is like a crossroads between going up or down. And it is through this human existence that you can accomplish something very meaningful for this and all future lives to come. But it is also through this human existence, it also actually poses a great danger because you have this ability. There's also the danger that you will not use it in this way, that you will misuse it, and in this way it will drag you down. So Milarepa says, this is what I heard from Marpa.
저는 다 사고를 못 해. 가서 있잖아. 저와 나고 나나 녀와 마쇼리. 스탄 저와 나요로. 다데 야 다데 상마 니 기본的 对象这个啥的这这当在对场节有一个大考这怎么那么你起码就是在土中空对着土都是啥空对我这听着俺这么这个吧我听着俺那也吧马修的这里一大东郊用个的这一大这里同着东郊这个嘛用个的同着东那没被用什么样嘛我这样对这那个我的没遇到吧？这难了，他其他是天桥你把特别讲个我的这多。
And then Boba said within the 5 states of existence, and so normally we speak about 6 states of existence, and so when we speak about 5, then the gods and the demigods, the jealous gods, are combined into 1, and if not, if 6, then they're separate. But so the gods, together with the demigods and the humans would be and in the higher realms and the rest in the lower realms. And so he said that among those 5 states of existence, the most are in hell. And then there are 1,000 times less hungry spirits than there are hell beings, and 1,000 times less animals than there are hungry spirits, and far fewer than that of human beings. And even within human beings, a precious human being with the freedoms and fortunes is extremely rare.
真的这个不被，咱们在他天桥做你个话，你有的是，台湾不送错吧？你个话当在，真的就话不送错吧？你个我你有的是，我通过在台湾不送错吧？你个我在看的是呢，没空给年纪帮过的是，没空年纪我在看的是呢，你知道吧？也到，你把车长动了，这当你让这么多，你把车长动了，也到真空制作进来，就这样，所以说老说嘛的，通着，对那他这人这种因为可能说的说是。因为他本身那他去马达为啥他在南边去西藏呢？他这个进步去年来西藏其实有马来西亚，我真的安保马尝试，可以的南去回啊，有马来卡查呀，有马来，我真的在去西藏呢，其他我的马他啤酒嘛，他不，我真的我在安保马上，我这里拉路线那他，他这个是，然后就买大山的我也是，我他这俺那的没菜。我真的六三年前呢，到六三年前呢，那就他的那片段嘛，六三在我呢，我在求洛阳这个嘛的也是，我在求搞不有嘛的是，我在没看不到的是肯定那个的，我在对在没推不见，你接不买起吧，贴吧是我在没推不见接不买起吧，贴吧的也是更不会，你把这咱就说不从说吧，你个现在都真的先教人啊，当教人啊有的是，唐不先教人啊的。他上届马票不讲啊，这那有马来是上届几天穷人，上届就得穷把个把的是，我上届穷个把的是，然后上届开始初中个嘛，这初中个把的是，然后这是初中了，电把局是那个公布的是，我这电把局那有的是，我真的电把局是这边看啥的，然后公布的是电把内定了，上的中间公布啥吧，我这里公布的是这是这吧，现阶段这吧这边知道吧，这是这吧，这是这吧，看啥公布的是的，我这去。我当你把这让叫人啊，这电把磕头没绿托吧讲， top 讲他没有 top 的，那在三千星吧 top 这个了，有时间吧他，但昂不长嘛，真的太吧有吧，来其他嘛了吧，我倒没空气包这帮我，我倒连他没空气帮我，我倒让人看就是吧，就长话的没有这心里你搞完的也是，这根本没上人啊这。
Mhm. And so then Gambopa gave a teaching on those 8 unfree states and the 5 kind of there's 10 of fortunes. So 5 are circumstantial outside of yourself, and 5 are personal. And so this is how he explained them. So first he explained the 8 states of being of freedom. So you are free from 8 unfree states, and so these are number 1. We are not born as a hell being. If you are born as a hell being, and then you have no opportunity to practice the Dharma. So even if you actually think about it, there's just no opportunity there. Then second, if you're born as a hungry spirit, a preta, then also you have no opportunity. You're tormented by your own negativity. You have no chance to practice the Dharma. Or if you are an animal, you can't practice the Dharma. Or if you're a long-lived god, you won't practice the Dharma because you're just distracted by the pleasures of life. Or if you are born in a border region, so in a place where the Dharma has not appeared, it just doesn't exist in your world. The Dharma does not exist in your world, then you won't practice the Dharma. And then 6, if you have imperfect faculties, you can practice the Dharma. For example, there are some who can't hear or who can't speak or can't really comprehend. There are some impediments to the comprehension of the Dharma. Then it's also more challenging. Or number 7, if you're holding wrong views, then even if the Dharma is right before you, it's useless, because if you have wrong views, you won't practice that Dharma in front of you. And then number 8 is if a Buddha has not appeared. So if a Buddha has not appeared, then there is no Dharma to practice. So that is those 8 unfree states that we are not born in, and so that's the 8 qualities. And then there is 10 fortunes, and so there are 5 like circumstantial or outside of yourself fortunes, external fortunes, and then there's 5 personal fortunes. So the 5 external fortunes are, and that first Buddha has come into this world. So in the past, there might have been a time where no Buddha has come to the world. And if there's no Buddha in the world, then also there's no one teaching the Dharma. But it's not the case for us, because a Buddha has appeared in this world. And then the second one is, and that Buddha also, he taught the Dharma. In some worlds, the Buddha does appear, but he happens not to teach the Dharma. In our world, the Buddha not only appeared, but he also taught the Dharma. And then the third one is, these Dharma teachings still remain. They are still present. They have not yet disappeared. And then the fourth one is that there are people who practice these teachings. They are followers of these teachings. And then number 5 is that these followers have compassion. One can receive compassion from others in this world. And so those are the 5 external fortunes. And then there's 5 personal fortunes, like pertaining to yourself. And these are, so first of all, you're a human. So you're born as a human. Secondly, you are born, it's called in a central land, meaning also in a place where you actually encounter the Buddha Dharma. In other places you might not, but you're in a place where you do encounter the Dharma. Then the third one is you have your sense faculties complete to comprehend the Dharma. Then number 4 is that you
레이튼 타 말로 세제 도와이나 레이튼 타 말로 대 시계로 제 서밍하라서 지나치는 주의도 말했어 봐.
서밍하고래.
서밍하는 데가 침보 치디나 대 레이튼 타 보고 그래서 어떻게 그 치는 주의도 그 말했어. 냠냐치나데 가서 치요 말 서밍하다.
Yeah, so that was number, where was I? Number 3. And then number 4 is to not engage in extreme karmic activity. And here that means it refers to these 5 extremely negative crimes with immediate retribution. If you commit any of these, then no good results will come from anything else you do, any other practice you do in life. So no extreme negative action. And then number 5 is that you have faith in the jewels. So, yeah.
我真的到就能台就能你把心个始终有了，我这期真的根本别这可是总是呢这没有人过去特别推的，我马家那马公呢，起码他在别强的没空间，我接送呢，这光被乱中个嘛的是，光被他写个嘛的是，我这他在光被推的，是我在嘛我们家过来也是，我真的今天中午台就特别推送的。这边人过马金呢，他参加特别，他的参加没的要不特别的，除了这边人过马金呢，其他都新的讲师，或者其他都新给的是，那个可以讲说他们就是可以讲说他们的，真的这个能去求，让我们个去，他这个能去那求，那让我们去就是，我们说俺从什么东岸是吧？这俺从什么东岸是用我们是这样的，他俺说也我们年去，他们他参加没有上的，出来马上我去。我曾经去过的，从头真的在车上面真的第一次公交的吧。
So if you so also Boba said that later on, so now that you have a precious human life, you have to use this life to practice. So this is what he said in this opening verse, by saying that this precious human life is difficult to find. And so Gampopa said that now when you do have, at the time when you do have a precious human body, you must use it to engage in practice, because later on, once you are born in then the lower realms, in other places, there is no more thought of practice, nor is there any opportunity, any way you could practice. Now is the time to practice. Now you have an opportunity. Now you're not born in those 8 unfree states. And Thigten Somgen also said something similar, that now that you have those freedoms and fortunes, this precious human body, if you do not practice now when you have it, then the kind of demons will drag you down into endless samsara, and you will be caught up in an endless stream of birth, old age, sickness, and death, without any self-control, without any freedom over it. You will be bound to experience the suffering of the lower realms. Therefore, practice now and do not waste this opportunity of this precious human life. So at this point, we're going to stop and do some meditation.
真的他提问中我讲中央嘛，那么这三些新法律有多少？他的意思是我们家这样做这个。
So Ruben says, I don't have a bell here because I'm somewhere else, but let's just start to meditate.
呀，他的internet的这里给钱，几点钟这里给钱，他妈在路上呢。
And we read the Chitung Sumgan dedication.
他有什么的样呢？
We have that.
对，
Yeah.
对，这多，我的，对，
Okay. Glorious, holy, venerable, precious, kind, and lineage lamas, divine assembly of Yidams and assemblies of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Yogins, Yoginis, and Dakinis, dwelling in the 10 directions. Please hear my prayer. May the virtues collected in the 3 times by myself and all sentient beings in samsara and nirvana, and the innate root of virtue not result in the 8 worldly concerns, the 4 causes of samsara, or rebirth as a Shravaka or Pratyeka Buddha. May all mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me and mine, obstructors who harm, misleading Maras, and the hordes of demons experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. By the power of this vast root of virtue, may I benefit all beings through my body, speech, and mind. May the afflictions of desire, hatred, ignorance, arrogance, and jealousy not arise in my mind. May attachment to fame, reputation, wealth, honor, and concern for this life not arise for even a moment. May my mind stream be moistened by loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta, and through that may I become a spiritual master with good qualities equal to the infinity of space. May I gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra in this very life. May the torment of suffering not arise at the time of my death. May I not die with negative thoughts. May I not die confused by wrong view. May I not experience an untimely death. May I die joyfully and happily in the great luminosity of mind as such, and the pervading clarity of Dharmata. May I, in any case, gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra at the time of death or in the bardo.
Yeah, okay, thank you, everybody. 되네, 사고지만 지금 되네.
We're finished for today and see you all next week.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, teacher.
Thank you.